Hello, this is Isaac Botkin, and you're watching another T.REX talk. Lucas said I could start this time, and I did, so now it's Lucas's turn. Go.
I'm trying to get this knife sheath attached to a sidecar, and it's not behaving because the rivets aren't in good spots.
We'll talk about that in a second. So thank you very much for watching the stream.
Oh, wow.
Sorry to throw you under the bus like that.
It's fine. I'm just pulling
I hope
this
everybody
up so I
thought
can
that
read
was
the
funny.
comments.
So
We're
one
not
of the
funny,
things
Isaac.
that we're hoping to do, we're never funny, we're hoping to answer more questions about the new Sidecar, which some of us call the Sidecar 2.0, some of us call it Sidecar Platinum, some of us call Sidecar 2021, Sidecar XL, Sidecar HR, Sidecar GTO, I don't know, I'm not sure, Sidecar V, 18 volt. It is simply the new Sidecar, replaced the old Sidecar, but for now we're calling it the new Sidecar system, just so you know which one we're talking about. It's the one that has the spine system,
I just call it the 2.0.
And you can run it as a Raptor. It replaces the Raptor as well with the hinge, which gives you an extra clip for stability. These are the metal discrete carry clips, which we also sell on our website. Or you can run it with various other attachments, including of course, the standard pistol, but also you've got your tourniquet carrier with its little retention-y thing. You can run it with knives if you attach it to the wing clip, or if you mess with your own stuff, because it is open source and you can make your own attachments for it as easily as you can, as easily as you can make attachments in general, you can make these almost as easily. But yesterday when we were talking about the production process, we didn't get too much time to answer questions, and it's a completely new product, and you guys had a lot of questions that we didn't get to, so we're going to try to do a slightly better job of that today, if at all possible. Since I'm terrible at questions, Lucas is going to help. He's much better at that.
I did it. Single attachment to the knife sheath, wing on the top. So now all I have to do is get these clips level on the same plane like that.
Nicely done.
Get a pin. I don't know how well it will work. It should work fine.
Oh,
and then rubber washer. Friction washer is necessary to keep the pin from coming out. I'm going to install that here in the bottom. Take the metal, just the right length. No, it's a long one. This one. Take the standard size.
Oh, we should use our second camera.
Oh shoot! I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too.
Oh,
Charles,
and these screws aren't very tight.
Did you forget, Charles?
It's moving around. We have a camera up top for. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, check that action out. I probably shouldn't do that. These screws could be a little shorter. It's a little wobbly, but there I have a flagrant beard knife, and yeah, that thing's kind of dope actually with a knife. If you are fine with drawing a knife next to your stomach, that is.
I will tell you, I am perfectly fine with drawing this knife. I've carried it quite a bit. I'm a lot less fine with resheathing it. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I have carried it this way for a while.
Just pull the holster out and put it back in.
What was that?
Just pull the holster out and put it back in.
Maybe
not. Yeah, like the trigger guard holsters, you have to remove the entire holster to then do the thing.
I have done that a couple times.
Are we still down here? Oh, okay. So I shouldn't pick my nose or anything. Okay.
This one is a little harder to push in because this is, and it's super cool looking, one of our 3D printed transparent prototypes, which has not broken. This is made out of a resin. I forget which brand.
Where's that old sidecar?
It's held up super well.
This guy says he misses the two-tone sidecar. Yeah, I do too, to some extent. Not being able to customize the back of the holster with another color. This is the one I've been using for the past 6 months or so. Arid. For a TLR7 with black. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, kind of sad. But in the future, being able to buy 2 different colors like this perhaps could be cool. Are all of these, there's ammo in this one.
You're not supposed to hold those on the thing because of YouTube.
Oh, right.
You can obviously get the patterned Kydexes. But
in some ways it looks...
It's just patterned on either side. I can't really decide what I like better. Sometimes I like the black holster with the black attachment, which makes the hinge basically invisible the best. And then other times, I like a really bright contrasty holster so you can see the hinge super well. Not sure what's my favorite.
Someone was asking rifle mag carrier rounds forward or backward. I prefer rounds forward in this configuration. The mag is curved more into the body versus rounds rearward. On a 20-round mag, though, it doesn't really matter that much, and that's where one of these is optimal, really. This is a Lancer with 300 blackout, some of my 300 blackout defense ammo. So I can literally drop this onto any of these, and I'm set. Oh, you're okay. I don't know what's going on over there. So, but you can do both. It's fully ambidextrous, and you can tighten this on all 4 sides because AR mags they vary a lot. Steel mags, polymer magazines. I haven't tested a G36 mag in here. I would assume it would fit, but I haven't tested one of those. Or a Steyr. A Steyr waffle mag might not actually work.
Yeah, I don't think we tried that one.
That would be a sick loadout, though.
One thing that is extremely cool about the new system is you get more adjustability. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different adjustable retention points. So with all of the mag carriers, pistol and rifle, you get more retention than you did on the old device. You can tweak it more to your desired tightness and retentionness.
Does the pin go up or down? Both. It's actually easiest, though, if it kind of depends where your retention washer is. The sooner the pin passes past the retention washer, the easier it is to get the pin out. So in this case, the washer is here at the bottom. So if I push the pin out from here, it will be clear of that washer sooner. If the washer's at the top, then I'd go the other way. But there's no wrong way to put the pin in. The only wrong way is if you don't have the rubber washer and then it's like free floated inside. That's the only problem. And if you want to simply keep them together, then you just store the rubber washer on the pin itself like so, and then you won't lose it, and you're fine.
One thing that we have not yet talked about on any of the live streams, and I forget if it's in the product video, the pin has this little notch cut out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the easy way to remove it is if you have a tool of some kind that fits in the notch.
Or
a keychain or a key will work the best. Once that fits into here, maybe the close-up.
The quick clip is gone forever, yes. Double clips.
There. And yeah. I wish we were a little more zoomed in, but once you get that tool in there, then you can pull it out pretty easy. So if you have keys in your pocket, you can easily pull these out in the field.
As far as the quick clip goes, I have used the quick clip at 4 o'clock quite a bit, and I far prefer having 2 clips like so. The further they're spaced out too, the more stable the holster is as far as wobbling. So this is my dedicated 4 o'clock setup. And having this clip sort of curving around to the front of my body, this clip over at 4 o'clock, this holster doesn't move anywhere. Having a single clip up here, or even if it was just this clip right here, this holster is doing this inside of your pants. It's not very effective. So yeah, the quick clip's gone forever. That was that big fat clip that just attached here in the front. So you can have 2 clips like so, and you can position this clip. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Josiah suggested this, flipping this backwards and putting the clip on this side, and I actually am going to do that right now.
There are a gazillion ways to run the clip, and Kyle at customer service didn't want us to go into how incredibly modular it was because it's confusing to go through all the options, but there's a gazillion options. You can run it on the front, you can run it on the back, you can tip it upside down. You
I have both clips
it.
far apart like so, which I like. I'm going to go ahead and change it.
I like running them close together personally.
You can talk.
Now for many years, I ran a Raptor holster with this single tuckable clip, which is less stable. I actually feel like these teeth are aggressive enough. When I've done this with this thing, they actually catch on fabric, and it was more stable this way. But you can, of course, throw that wing clip on there, that adapter on there, and then you can get the 2 clips, and you can adjust them in all the different ways that Kyle doesn't want you to know about, the forbidden knowledge of how to do.
I'm about to show some forbidden knowledge right here.
And those slots let you cant it. You can do forwards and backwards canting of that belt clip depending on how far, close, or high you want to run it. And that's especially important for you 4 o'clock guys. It's a much more comfortable 4 o'clock carry. It's much more stable. You get all of your cantability. And
cantability, is that a word?
I'm making it a word.
It's a word now.
You FBI guys out there that want your FBI cant, this holster will let you get that and will let you put your height exactly where you want it and adjust the tilt, your cant exactly the way that you want it to be, so that you can really quickly draw your gun the way that you've been trained to do it at, that FBI Academy.
Fletzy. or wherever it is you go. Or if you're the
Quantico.
ATF and you've been training on dog
Blinko,
targets.
and other codes.
Okay, so I just did what Josiah was telling me about. It's been a while since I've... Is this really what he's doing?
I don't know if that's what he's doing.
I think he may have like a prototype one. But you can sort of get it on the other side. It's hitting the Kydex. So that's kind of what it ends up looking like. For some reason, I thought it would swivel more. So oh, he's probably just putting the clip right there.
Yeah, you can.
He's not turning it like this.
You can run the clip on either side of this thing. You can run it closer, further away. You can use the swivelly things. You can use the straight up and down things. You can run it higher. You can run it lower. You can do anything that you want to get the holster to ride any way that you want. These, like I said, are the metal discrete carry clips, which you can upgrade to, but we ship them with the plastic clips. Someone was asking about the Ulti-Clip, whether it's compatible. It is, but I cannot right now remember which Ulti-Clip you actually want for the height of these holes. This very adjustable, obviously these holes are where they are, and I forget which clip that is, because they make a whole bunch of different sizes and lengths of clip for different things. I can't remember the right one.
Let's talk real quick. A lot of folks are asking, hey, can this holster be outside the waistband as well? That is something that I played with years ago, was a modular inside the waistband, outside the waistband holster. That's what the original Ragnaroks were. They had little holes on the front for one of these. It actually looked very similar to this. And then it had a full like hole pattern here on the back. The result was basically a bulkier inside the waistband holster and a pretty flimsy outside the waistband holster. It didn't do either very well. Modular, I love this saying, modular is better. I disagree. Modular is not always better if the modular means the product isn't good at either thing very well. This is a modular product, but maintains being a good inside the waistband holster regardless of what attachments you end up putting on it. Now, you could argue that this makes it less concealed than just this and whatever, but modular is not always better if the modular aspect makes it you know, super duper expensive, tons of extra parts that are going to fail, and the end result in either configuration isn't as good. So inside the waistband, outside the waistband holster like combos, I haven't found one or made one that worked at either very well. So the answer is no. Yeah. We're not going to try to bulk this up to fit outside the waistband attachments. The simplest option would be to bulk this up right here, add our Ragnarok hole pattern. You could then attach your paddle to it. All of this would be exposed.
It would need to be 125 also for
it would have to be fat. Yeah, it would be this 8.0 Kydex, which I don't like outside the waistbands for, unless it's like a pancake holster. So just things to think about. Modular, as modular as this is, and we're saying this is modular, it is, but this is still an inside the waistband holster. This is not trying to do everything, because if it did, it wouldn't do any of it very well.
There is a way. I'm not going to say who was doing this, but
USB?
Somebody today was wearing it outside of the pants waistband, but inside of the belt. So you can sort of split that difference there if that's a fashion statement that you would like to personally
You basically
make.
take your belt, you wear it right here with the belt over the top, right?
That's exactly what you do. It's
sacrilege. That person will be flogged. And put in the stocks that are made of Kydex. So yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. USP, probably not. Not anytime soon, that is. I would love to be able to offer this holster in every model available, but there are some guns that just aren't common anymore. There's just not a lot of people carrying them. HK pistols happen to be one of those. The VP9, actually, I've been told as of today, is right around the corner, which is I'm actually really surprised at, because that's a pistol that doesn't get carried a whole lot. But there's a number of pistols that we'll have availability for before the end of the year. I've seen a few people ask about Canex. Not real interested in focusing on those. The one thing Canex has going for it is an inexpensive pistol from Turkey. But it is also an inexpensive pistol from Turkey. I taught a class with the Canex. The first time I ever shot a Canex, I was at a class teaching stunt men and women, stunt women. Do they call them all stuntmen?
Stunt persons.
I'm sure. Oh, okay. And the guns that were provided were all Canex for all the students and the instructors. So I grabbed a Canex. I was teaching reloads, and I went to reload and said, "All right, you're going to hit the mag release. You're going to, keep the gun aimed outwards so the magazine falls out." Well, the mags don't fall out. They do not drop free, at least in the mechanic that I had. None of the mechanics there at the class. So I had to teach them to strip the magazine, which is not great, inefficient.
Looks cooler for stunt people
It does
on
look
camera,
cooler
I guess.
in movies. They were the stunt crew for a Marvel show or movie or something. So mechanics, I had a bad experience with. I don't want to say it was a horrible experience. It wasn't the best experience. It's not the best pistol out there. So we're not super interested in making holsters for mechanics, not really, but it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
Chad, what's wrong?
I will say,
Comments.
do you remember the Caracal pistol?
I do remember the Caracal. I also remember J.J. Rakaza used to shoot for them back in the day.
That's really
for like
interesting.
a year.
So I still have a Caracal, but Caracal is an excellent example of what I am sort of afraid that Canik may turn out to be. They hired a phenomenal designer from Steyr. He designed a phenomenal gun, but where it was being made, they weren't able to keep the quality where it was. So I actually have at this point, yeah, my Caracal does not get shot.
Did Gordon's holster go out?
Oh, let me check on that. I have been keeping an eye on it.
Oh, good.
Thank you for
Check on
reminding me. We should
There, I
check
will
on
say, I
Gordon's
found
holster.
out, so we had meetings today. Wednesday's a big meeting day. And I did get a confirmation that holsters that were ordered on Monday, the day we launched, did in fact get made that day and shipped the next day. Now, not everyone's, because we had a lot of orders, but there were orders getting made and shipped within one day. Now,
do we know of any delivered today?
If you
haven't
live in
seen-
Tennessee, maybe. I kind of doubt it. I'm sure the
haven't
first
seen
deliveries will
anything,
hit tomorrow.
so far.
But that might be some of the fastest holster work from a holster company here in the industry. I like to back claims up. That's one that I'm this close to making because we have an awesome production team and shipping team. And I like to brag on them a lot. Sometimes they'll tell me stop because we don't ship everything in one day. I'm going to brag on them anyway and say they're awesome.
They are very awesome.
It's not all of
However,
them, but
not that many.
You did not get yours today.
Same
All
day
right.
manufacturing shipping is not normal. So,
That's not normal at all.
and it appears that Gordon's,
It's still going.
it's processing.
It's processing. All right. That means it's going to the shredder. No. So anyway, why not ship
It
to Sweden?
could go out today.
There's-
it's possible.
There's a
but
number
I
of
don't know.
countries. That's a question of customer service. I don't keep up with every country that we do or do not ship to. There are a number of countries that, in our experience, have been very difficult to get mail to a point we've had to cease shipping to those countries until maybe we get a better service or things get better.
I will say-
So that's a question for customer service, but I know there's been a few countries that the packages, it turns into a huge customer service nightmare for the customer, you who spent money, and for us on our end as well. So at that point, it's not reasonable for us. You pay the money, you expect the thing, it never shows up, it bounces all over the place. It's just not good for anyone.
It's usually an issue with
sucks.
customs. Occasionally with some products, it's an issue with the product itself. DHL has been doing a phenomenal job.
They're pretty cool. They're pretty
but
cool.
a lot of countries, getting stuff through customs is extremely difficult, time-consuming, expensive, and
Just lame. TLR7A or Surefire X300. So the TLR7A is probably the most comfortable. It's what I'm wearing right now. The most comfortable weapon light and that gives good capability. The switches on it, in my opinion, are the best switches of a weapon light right now. Yes, they are better than a mod lights because you have constant and momentary. The mod light does have a very easy constant switch, which is nice if you're just all about constant, but it's also really easy to accidentally hit. The X300 has very stiff paddles. I'm pretty used to them. You can push it for momentary. So I've used both the X300 and the TLR7. I carry with the TLR7 a lot. It's 500. I think it's 500 lumens. It's flush fit with the 19. It's got a really nice gas pedal style switch. The old TLR7 sucked though. We did not make holsters for those, partly because the light was so bad. But then the light got really good, and so now we do, and we also sell them. So the TLR7A is what I'm recommending to people. If you want the capability of an X300, you want the 1000 lumens, you're okay with a little bit of extra length on the gun, absolutely. Have at it. We've got holsters for them. We sell a lot of holsters for the X300 for inside the waistband. I do it sometimes, but TLR7 is what I have on me most of the time. All my house guns, though, and drawers and stuff at my house all have X300s because at that point they're just in a drawer. Like they don't have to have a compact light. So in the kitchen, bathroom, stuff like that, they all have X300s on them because why not? I mean, it's 1000 lumens. It fills the whole house, and it's awesome. So
for those of you asking, the old TLR7 with the bad switches that we didn't particularly like holsters are compatible with those. Doesn't feel quite as good, but they fit inside if you're curious. We had a couple questions about that.
Look at that. Sick
People asking who Gordon is. Gordon is one of our favorite customers.
Gordon Ramsay. He's going to
No,
yell
Gordon
at us
Freeman.
and do a horrible review. Oh, Gordon Freeman. Okay. Gun in every room. Yes, that's the way to do it. Bathrooms especially.
The easiest way to have a gun in every room is to have the gun on you, so every room you got into, you have a gun.
There's
That's
also
that's
that.
the
I do carry-
the cheap peasant way to
I don't
do it.
always wear my sidecar around the house, I will confess. But I do carry it with me throughout the house. And if I happen to not have it with me, there's another gun right there with an extended mag, X300, you know, good to go, full-size pistol. It is the way. It really is the way.
People asking what is the waist size increase once you're wearing an IWB holster. I wear an old-timey Boomer Fud belt with holes that are an inch apart. I find that is the distance. When I have the holster in, I need an extra inch. So I'm guessing pant size goes up an inch.
I wear jeans with stretch in them, so my normal waist size works with whatever holster I put on.
I used to be very opposed to stretchy pants, but
Stretchy pants are awesome. I don't care what people say. The new Cry pants, the G5s, have stretch in them. They know what they're doing.
the camera
I
guys
will say,
are
though, the
doing
stretch
deep
isn't as fire
bends right
retardant,
now
so
to
that's a
just
problem.
demonstrate how awesome stretchy pants are.
Springfield Hellcat. We are getting asked about the Hellcat more than any other pistol. Now, we are not huge fans of Springfield for some of their past political endeavors. Indiscretions towards the American people. I'm also not a big fan of some of their quality of some of their weapons. The Hellcat, from what it seems, does appear to be a decent handgun, at least better than some of their other handguns. So it's possible we'll make a holster for that in the future. I wish you guys were using the P365 XL instead, or the new M&P Plus is really good, although it doesn't have a light thingy. Or the Glock 48 or the 43X. I would far prefer you guys using those, although they are also made by stingy companies, European companies, Glock especially. But those are better guns in my opinion. But we may end up making holsters for the Hellcat just due to it being not a bad pistol and it being so out there. But I wish more people weren't buying Springfield personally. But
Well, we'll see what happens.
and we aren't doing anything for Tauruses or Rugers. No.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Springfield is pretty
We're
hotly
not.
debated amongst different people that have different philosophies of what we should support. Revolvers. There is a revolver holster that I want to make, but I'm not going to talk about it on stream. Other than
I have
no
a
revolver
question.
holsters.
Wait, you talked about it yesterday.
No, this is a different one.
Okay, I was about to have it
Because
in the
what I
chat.
revealed on, I was
okay.
talking to Josh Lowry about this. So the Chiappa Rhino, I wanted it to be an awesome gun, but it isn't. However,
Why
if
not?
you watch sci-fi movies,
Why is that
in the
awesome?
future, it is widely adopted in like the 2040 range. So 2020 Chiappa Rhinos have
Battlefield.
many mechanical issues in them that make them not awesome, and they're not chambered in anything awesome, but they're widely used in 2040. So something's going to happen in 2030 where Chiappa is really going to get their act together, and it's going to be an amazing pistol, and I can't wait to see what improvements they add to it.
That's a good point. The Raptor is no more. The Raptor is gone. It is extinct. It is a dodo. It is in the ground. This is the new Raptor. This is a far superior holster. The problem with the Raptor, I'm going to tell you all right now. Now, you guys may disagree with me, but this is coming from me. The main problem with the Raptor holster, and I don't have one right here. They're around somewhere, is it only had one clip. You either had one tuckable clip or the big quick clip. So you didn't have a very effective, Charles liked it. It wasn't a very effective holster as far as consistency, riding around in your pants, you know, doing stuff, especially with a heavier handgun like a Glock with an X300 with a, you know, red dot and an Extendo 33 clip, you know, that sort of thing. So the Raptor with two clips now, however, now that we have two clips and they can be spaced out a little further, whether I'm carrying a 3 o'clock or Appendix, means that pistol isn't going anywhere. So stability is huge. And yes, it's more expensive. I've seen people lamenting over the fact that, well, now I have to spend $100 for a holster instead of 75 or whatever the Raptor was.
However, if you get the light compatible, it's not more expensive.
It's not more. They're the same price.
And you should get the light compatible.
These and these, they're the same. You should have a weapon light. There's no excuse in 2021 to not have a weapon light. Although, I would rather not have a weapon light and one of these than a pistol with an Olight on it. But there's no reason not to have a weapon light on your handgun in 2021. The holster options out there are all over the place. You can buy holsters from companies that don't upcharge you $20, $30. There's no reason not to have that. especially with stuff like the TLR7A. The XC1B is actually also a really good little light. It is a little pricey. It takes a AAA, which is kind of cool. But that has really good switches as well. So, and Cloud Defensive, whenever they launch their light, which based on their claims, I haven't seen renders or anything, I haven't seen anything yet. Based on the claims that they've made, that is going to be a sick light if they deliver on that. However, their track record, I'm just assuming with their track record that it's going to be ugly. Ugly as sin. I'm hoping.
As a holster maker, however, an ugly light that is easy to make a holster for, my favorite.
I wish. I want it to look
more
nice.
people would do that.
I want it to look. I want it to look seamless, shapeless, like water, like this.
I want there to be something for the holster to grab for safety.
Hey, look, this thing. There's all sorts of stuff you can grab on here. Oh
No,
wow,
that's
cool. Oh, this is a new X300. They actually print 1,000 lumens on it. This is a new one they sent me.
For those people making weapon lights, this is actually my favorite weapon light to make holsters for because
awesome.
it's super easy to grab on the sides right here. Occasionally, holster makers leave a tiny little chin right here for you to grab right on the bottom right there. And then if there's any issues at all with the gun being a different height because SIG or because Glock or because Walther or because, you know, it stops working as well. But if you can grab the light on the sides like so, that's what we're talking about. That's nice. That gives the customer more adjustability.
I have something to say. People are asking, why do people hate on Olight? Well, there's a number of reasons. Some of the marketing, some of the boom booms.
I thought it was because human life was sacred. And skin is a good thing to keep on the outside of your body.
I do like that as well. I will say, the argument, I know a bunch of people, they really like theirs, they work really well. That argument doesn't always work because products work great when you don't use them. It can be any product. And I can't tell you how many times I see people say, my XD works great. And then you ask them, hey, how often do you actually use said XD? And it's only once every 4 months. Yeah, any gun, any weapon light, any piece of nylon, a little janky plate carrier with single stitching, any product will work great if you don't use it. And the fact of the matter is, I'm not seeing Olight users running their gear as hard as folks running Surefires, Cloud lights, Mod lights, Stream lights. I'm just not seeing a lot of hard use out of Olights. Now, I'm fine with you guys proving me wrong, but just because 5 of your friends own them, touch their gun once every couple weeks, shoot once every 4 months, that's not a real great case study use case as an example. The same goes for people that are recommending certain kinds of pistols from companies. I've got guns in here, like I've got the AUG, for example. I haven't even shot my AUG a whole lot. I've probably shot, man, I don't know, 4,000 rounds through it. And so I could tell you guys, AUG works great. Well, I actually don't use it enough to really be able to say that. I haven't shot it enough to really know for sure. It's worked for me so far sitting there. I haven't touched it. I haven't shot it in like, geez, I don't know, 6 months or so. But that gun works great sitting there doing nothing. Like it's on the other side of the locker. Like that gun, that's the most reliable gun in this room because I haven't shot it in 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's most of the people on the internet saying, this works for me, it's great. And it's like, well, if you have to all of a sudden start using that every day for a month straight, are you going to have those same results? Like let's talk theoretical land. Let us say the current political issues today start to go, the snowball starts to tumble and get a little larger. You know, the giant avalanche starts to occur.
You mean the federal government gets bigger than it already is?
Yeah, let's say money, the US dollar, various things happen, right? And for whatever reason, you now have to start using the kit that you carry every day, but you don't really use. You actually have to start using it a lot. You have to start wearing armor more often. Maybe you've got to actually start carrying your rifle, activating your white light, switching out batteries a lot. You actually have to start using it every day. Like let's say for a month, 30 days.
And we're just talking about Walmart trips.
We're just talking, yeah, driving to Walmart, going on an outing. That's a lot more use with that item than you're doing right now. Is that item really going to hold up then? And here's the thing. I'm not just talking weapon lights with this analogy or this concept. I'm talking everything. Plate carriers, your bags, your pistols. I'm talking like if you all of a sudden have to go from training once a week or even once a month or once every 4 months to using it every day. Like that's honestly the difference between, I know the military civilian, thing is like that's always going to be there. It's always going to be a competition between some folks. But the difference with the military and civilians, Not all military though. It's only 10% are combat arms, and only like 1% of, or in 10% of that actually sees combat. Although right now it's way less. Those guys are actually having to wear and use their gear every day, even if it's just to put it on and walk around and guard and do a patrol or something. Like, they're actually using this stuff every day. We don't have to do that. I have the luxury of being able to take off my plate carrier when I'm at the range after shooting 10 drills. I can pop my plate carrier, load my mags, you know, shoot without my carrier on, then put it back on. That's not the best use case to apply across the board of a piece of kit working really well. That's why I generally try to use my stuff a lot longer than a few range trips before I talk about it, because that's not enough. It's not enough use. So when you're thinking about your weapon lights, your holsters, your pistols, or whatever, you need to think beyond what works right now. You really need to think about, is this going to work if I have to start using it for 3 months straight, a month straight, a week straight? Like, I've got some lasers that the battery's always dead. I don't like that. I probably am not going to rely on a laser like that. I want a laser where I've got, fun fact, I had a PEC 15, full power PEC 15 on my OG BCM. The battery was in there for, I hadn't touched that gun in probably 2 years. That battery was still good to go. It still turned on after 2 years of sitting there. That's impressive. That's the kind of reliability you should be looking for in your kit if you're talking civilian preparedness, big bad whatevers, much more than just, you know, range, YouTube, shill stuff. All right, my rant. That's my rant. Oh, if everyone's asking about AC1s.
Do you have a cue card for that?
No. However,
okay, well then you can't talk about it.
Let me just say, there are a lot of items in the building next door that make me very happy. And you should be on our newsletter and on the wait list for AC1s. Because I've been saying, after this, AC1s are next. So now that this is done, we can, you know,
well, as far as I'm
actioning
concerned, this isn't done
It's
yet.
not done,
We still
but,
have
you know.
a month's worth of holsters to make this week, so yes.
So yeah, get on IG shooters. Yeah, I'm an IG shooter, I'll tell you right now. But it's all about how much you shoot, right? How much you do stuff. So anyway, that's my rant about gear and reviews and stuff.
Someone is asking, since we now make a flexible sidecar, can we please make one that is held together by shock cord? The answer is no. We made it this way on purpose. One of the issues that we have with the shock cord ones is they flex in all the different directions, so you don't get consistency or rigidity or the benefits of concealability or repeatability.
I don't want a holster I can do this with and literally like turn it.
With this system, you end up with something that is more controllable and more repeatable and more rigid. And the other thing is the two halves, once they're held together with shock cord, can also move independently of each other. And that makes it hard for the two clips that are on there to really work for maximum effect. So
someone said
this right here is super nice, where you can actually
it holsters kydex.
You can actually use this pivot point to where
for your body. And
your belt is going to pull these things into you the way that they should, because of the fact that they're pushing against the fulcrum of this hinge and not just a piece of two pieces of independently floating kydex with stretchy cord in between. So that was a very cool idea. The folks who did that first were very smart. It was the easiest and best way to bring that product to market and to test the viability of it. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh, what a brilliant idea. Although the ones that are two pieces of holster riveted to a piece of rubber are better. Those are a much better way to solve this problem.
Mag carrier will not fit a phone unless you have an old Razor flip phone. You know what I'm talking about. I hope. It should fit one of those just fine. Well, it'll be a loose fit, but it will not fit an iPhone. It might fit the little skinny one.
A second here.
Oh, well, never mind. It'll fit phones. Without cases. I have otter boxes on mine, so I can't.
If I got a thicker case, I bet I could make it work.
So, yeah. So, moving on. Let me keep going through these questions. AC 2.0. AC 2.0, no. I will say, though, the AC ones we're getting right now are very high quality. They're very high quality. I'll just say that. I'm not going to spill too much. Look, I went a year and a half without leaking this, so I'm going to leak some stuff on the AC1.
Well,
I don't care.
Why don't you leak the AC130?
I will not do that. Okay, not yet. That's later. Two-piece belt. I'll give you an update on that, actually. So that is getting manufactured, but we recently got told that some of the materials on the inside of the belt that partly make it really awesome, there's some delays. So I don't actually have an update for a time frame for that. A question came up, oh, could we substitute some material? I'm not interested in substituting material. The belt is awesome the way that it is. We're going to wait. We're going to wait for the right material so it can be the product that we've been testing for 1.5 years. I've been wearing the same one for over 1 year now. So don't know. But it is awesome, and I'm still using it. The same one I've been wearing for, it's actually a little dated, but SMG ready rig. Yeah, we talked about that in a meeting as well. I actually don't know. We may need to run a poll.
What is the most
popular? No, don't say here in chat. Yeah, ask, but don't.
We do need to run a poll because this is a big question.
Here.
There are so many different SMG mags.
Yeah, MP5.
Hard to know what to support.
And we can't make it universal because they're all different. MPX, MP5 Scorpion, Colt 9mm, like for a Wasp.
The BNT, the Spectre.
BNT,
Spectre. Grease gun.
There's no way.
Tommy gun sticks.
The only thing I can think of, and I saw a guy already do this, he made that Molly adapter for this, is you attach a HSGI taco to that, so then you have a Molly pouch inside your pants. That would work for any subgun magazine at that point. I personally would prefer having Kydex to be a little slimmer, a little more form-fitting, a little more comfortable. So we're going to make Kydex for probably MP5 and, geez, I don't know. Scorpion's budget, and there's more of them in the wild than the MPX. MPX mags are fat.
I feel like Magpul has improved the Scorpion enough that it's pretty sweet.
Oh, but their mags are different. See, what I like about MP5s is the mags are all the same. Well, like there's like no difference in MP5 mags, not really. But I'm pretty sure Magpul Scorpion mags are different. I think they're fatter. I think they're slimmer than the standard Scorpions. I'm not sure. But we'll run a poll at some point to figure out what would be more common because we want to make what's most common, obviously. I want MP5 because I shoot MP5s a lot, but I don't get everything that I want.
Someone asking, can you attach...
We can do an in-chat poll? Oh, well, then we'll do that. But I just don't want people saying, like...
People just throwing out random
I don't want the chat to just be like 1,000 chats.
So,
people asking if you can do this.
Sure, yeah, let's go.
You can do this.
Yeah, let's do a poll. We have 1,200 people in here.
Sure. M3 grease gun.
All right, well, Charles is going to make a poll right here.
Yeah. In the meantime, people asking, can you run multiple attachments together? You can. You have to get a little adapter. You can 3D print this adapter. The files for this adapter are in the open source files. You can just download them and 3D print them. People asking if you can do akimbo. You can by a lefty, by a righty. You can just sort of put them together offset like this, or there's another adapter that you can 3D print, and that holds them far enough apart that you can get 2 optics in there. Because if you're going to dual wield, you definitely want 2 optic mounted pistols.
I will say,
you really want to do that.
At some point,
your gold 1911s should totally have optics on them.
Oh, no, the answer is yes, I would buy it. No, we need a poll that's with models.
Wow.
Yeah, we need a poll with models. I put in yes, though. I've seen a lot of people ask for some things that I don't, why? And I understand the gun industry thrives on products that there's no reason for them to exist. But just because you can attach multiple attachments all the way to the small of your back, why? I don't see the reason.
Because more equals better.
I guess. A modular is always better, although it's not. Yeah, I just have a hard time with that. Like at that point, if you want to do like a competition style belt, just get a 2-piece belt like from us or like AWS or someone, and then tech lock Mars carriers to it. You'll have more ammo, more gear. It will be better set up than interlocking 10 of these like pouches together with our spine system.
Now, one of the things people are asking about is, can you run multiple attachments together? And you can. This is a combo that a number of folks have asked about, cuff carrier and tourniquet carrier together. So you could wear this on one side and put your 4 o'clock on the other. And one of the cool things is these are ambi attachments. You can put the clips on the front or on the back. So if you want to prioritize what's in the front, you have options for that. And you can pull the pin out and run it with a holster. So we wanted to give customers a lot more options. Yeah, this is the goal of the platform.
Does T.REX have staff working remote? We have a few IT people. Other folks, though, it doesn't really work. We prefer to keep the team in-house. I would love it if our coders were in-house. but just based on where they live and their expertise, their skills, they're not here on site. But I want 99% of our personnel in-house when possible. Yeah. So no, we don't have remote positions open for like customer service or shipping. That wouldn't work. Dev, like we don't have any remote stuff.
We have talked, there's a couple of little projects that may work for outside work, but we won't talk about those in the stream because we've had enough.
We'll just buy companies for that. T.REX Med 1 restock. I think we just got some in. I know there was an issue with some. We needed to send them back. So whenever I hear that, I know it means others came in as well. So I'm pretty sure some just came in. I'm not sure though. I'm really happy. I'm really happy people are interested in the Med 1. There's been a lot of interest generated. I did just see a photo of a dude in a certain place in a certain unit wearing one, which is pretty rad. It's always fun to see stuff like that.
Was he doing things in that place with those guys?
Let me say, it was pretty funny. He had his helmet with his panos in his bag, just like floating, like in his back, just right there. And I was like, okay. I like protecting my panos more.
Issued gear is the best. Kind of like rental cars. Like, yeah, issued gear is great that way.
Although when you break it, it's charged to you, and usually there's like problems. Although for them, it's not as much. So that's cool. But the Med 1 stuff, it is hard to keep up with demand. The manufacturer is making them for us, but it is super cool how much interest is in that product right now. I think it's super cool.
People asking about the recovery tactical rail for the Shield Plus. I need to do more research on that and experiment with it.
Know what's up.
That is the only way to run a light with that gun, which we do kind of like. But there's a bunch of other micro 9s that run lights really well. So the Glock 48 and 43, if you have those guns, you can get a TLR6. If you have the MOS version that has the little micro rail, you can get it for the TLR7 or the Surefire one. Is it the XSC or the XCS? I can never remember.
For what?
For the little teeny light for little teeny guns.
Oh, XSC.
Okay, great. And then the P365, same thing, except that we are waiting on confirmation on a part from Streamlight. They changed a part the week before launch, so the TLR7 sub support is coming to that gun. We have molds for it. We were getting ready to launch with it. We just need to check a few things out, and then it will be available as soon as we can get stuff confirmed from Streamlight. So, patience.
It's true.
But it is definitely coming.
It's true. I was going to say something, but I forgot what it was.
FN57, probably not anytime soon. Someone asked, how do we know which guns are popular? It's not it's not just which ones are popular. There's several things that we have to take into account. There's there's a lot of guns that are popular that we don't actually want to support because we don't actually want to encourage people to carry those guns. And then there's also which guns are popular with the target market,
our demographic,
our current market, because making guns, making holsters for guns that are only carried by people that have never heard of us before may not be the most financially successful move.
Europeans, like there's all sorts of guns that are super popular in Europe that we could make holsters for here in America. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, we look at holsters like there are some, like for example, you guys probably agree with me, the XVL2. It didn't make sense for us to make a Ragnarok for that at all. However, there was a particular client that we were interested in supporting, and I was. That's why we made the holster, and for that light laser that Surefire made. We have not sold very many of those. In fact, we probably haven't even broken even on the dev time that went into that, the molding, and the inventory space. But that was more of a, no, we want to get this gear out to these people because they don't have an option. So we're going to get this thing out there quick.
Also, that is the best way to do, that light is the best way to do what you want. If you want to do that on a pistol, that's the best way to do it. It's supposed to be available. It's not as available as we'd hoped. We'd hoped a lot more civilians would have that light because that is the best way to
Fun fact,
have
we are selling it soon. So we have a bunch on order with Surefire. Because it is a cool light. For $1,300, $1,200, that's expensive. I know you guys are probably wheezing over that amount of money, but it gives you green laser, white light, IR Luminaire, IR laser, all in a tiny package. It's actually not bad on like little subguns, even rifles at PLC pricing. But it is the best IR laser like pistol setup right now. I love mine.
that goes into the decision of what we support. If there's something that is literally the best way to do a thing,
the best gear,
we do want to try to support that and encourage people.
T.REX Arms is Ferrari. You heard it here first, folks. We do not advertise on television because our demographic is not watching TV.
there watching Twitch for hours a day,
Oh,
right?
Great. You didn't need to bring that up. I will say there's a fun thing that some people in my Discord are helping me with.
I was going to say, are you going to do it? I was hoping you were going to plug a Twitch stream.
I'm going to plug the Armory stream here in 15 minutes, but no, they're helping me with a very particular project for Instagram that is going to really upset a few people.
Oh, well, that's also...
it's always fun.
Yeah.
So let's see. More questions. Staccato. Yeah. 2011s are becoming fairly popular, but that is a gun that we do not think people should be carrying. Just kidding. Yeah, I won't say that with that much confidence. I actually don't know what the plan is with that. I've got
There is a plan.
There is.
There's a
I've
bunch
got
of guns that
buddies
are on the
using
list.
them. I think we will.
Oh,
at
yeah,
some
no,
point.
They're on the list. They're just not on the calendar. So I can't give you a date, so there's no promises. But it's on the list. The problem is other stuff comes along that gets put on the list.
Like the
based
XVL2.
Based on changing circumstances.
I'll walk in. XVL2 sidecar next week. Let's go. And
Well, like you mentioned,
that fat.
cloud defensive
Whenever
lights.
that is, yeah.
Whenever that is, like
That's a lot of work.
if that
It's gonna be a
comes
ton.
very soon, that will be a higher priority than certain things that are currently on the list. That's why I don't want to throw out promises or tell you about stuff that's not on the calendar yet, because I don't want to overpromise. We like to underpromise.
And over-deliver.
Right.
I get confused with the two.
So people asking, will the long Glocks like the 17s and the 34s fit into the 19 holsters? They will, a little bit. Will poke through, but it's fine.
Yeah, if you have any, as you can see, Glock holsters are open. We do not shut them. I remember back in 2013, 2012, 2014, people were closing holsters off. They don't do it as much anymore, but back then, when you would order a Glock 19 holster, it would be formed on a Glock 19.
And
it would
wrap
curve
around.
over, and no 17s, no 34s. You were done.
That was a
19s only.
Nice little synchronized
That was-
move we just did.
Yeah, but now everyone, I would assume, I hope, is keeping their Glock holsters open, so you can fit any pistol in there.
And I think part of that is also comps and other muzzle attachments are more popular.
threaded
so,
barrels, and people are more tactical now than they used to be. So,
So much
I
more
also remember when people used to close their holsters off, but this was the best part. You'd go to shoot, brass would fall into your holster. You go to reholster, you can't because there's debris in the bottom, debris. And but now everyone keeps their holsters open, so
Now,
that's important.
we did, up until recently, used
good
to
fun.
close off the bottom of our lights to protect the light. It is now open because, well, partly because of the issue that you just talked about, but also things like on the X300, we also want to support the X300V,
long
which is a
boy.
little bit longer, and so yeah, you can run Vs inside of here just as easily as you can run Us.
Will there be a variant for the TLR2? That is a light I don't hear about very much anymore.
Wow.
That's
That's a name I've not heard
yeah.
since the last stream. The last
Really?
stream. Probably the same person
yeah,
asking the question.
Probably. Probably not. It's not a super common light. I will say the TLR1 VIR2, that is a cool IR laser light setup for cheap money. The TLR2 is cool, but it is bulkier, a little different. But the TLR1 VIR2 fits in our TLR1 Ragnaroks, at least in my experience it has.
It does. Now,
It should fit in sidecars, too.
I was going to say, let's test that, because the new sidecars, one of the upgrades
Tighter
is way better fit, way better
yep.
retention. So let's check that before you say anything. But on the rags, it works.
It'll fit.
We've tested that.
With enough
obviously.
force, it'll fit. Yeah, TLR VR2. Yeah. I like it a lot. It's super cool. You do have to zero it under nods, though. It's our IR laser only, so you do have to zero it under nods. So that kind of sucks. I like having a Viz laser. Why don't you sell cloud lights? I'm still playing with the Rain. The Owl probably won't sell that. I think the Rain is pretty cool. It is very large and bulky.
Now, you don't like the Owl for reasons that...
I like it for one application only.
well, right. But the thing is, there's lots of us who...
Yes, I know,
some of
but-
us only run one light on a rifle
Now,
at
and
a
not
time.
a bunch of lasers and cool stuff. So honestly,
Some of us.
I think this is a thing Cloud Defensive does, and I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but it is a thing. I think they overbuild. Sean might be German, I don't know, but their lights are overbuilt for maximum durability. Now that's cool. I'm not saying that's bad. It does mean you get bigger and heavier. Now, if you don't care about that, then great. You have a super durable light that you can drop from an airplane, it'll survive. You can leave it in water for weeks on end. I don't know. They've done some crazy tests. It's very impressive. But the question is, do you really need that much on the end of your gun when you might be able to have something a little bit lighter that's still durable enough. That's just fine. But maybe isn't like a spaceship in terms of durability, although those probably aren't as durable as we might think.
Not as durable as the owl.
So
the owl is one of the most durable things on the planet.
So I'm not a huge fan of that. I would prefer a smaller Rain light that's not giant and fat and super durable.
Do you have the Rain or the Rain Mini?
Well, they're both the same like width and overall. I mean, one's got big batteries, one is small, but they're both in my opinion, they're both overbuilt for durability. Which, hey, for certain customers, that's super awesome. I wish they would slim it down a little bit, make it a little lighter weight. And the only reason I want that is I've got IR lasers on almost every single gun. I've got suppressors on almost every single gun. Magnified optics, ACOGs, offset, and after a while, you've got a pretty heavy carbine. A carbine that's supposed to be lightweight because they're shooting an intermediate cartridge, 5.56. It's not a battle rifle, but you start to approach battle rifle weight. Having a light that big, an IR laser, you know, like a PEC 15 or an NGAL or something, and then a full-size suppressor, and then a 60-round mag. And,
now, there are some people that don't accessorize quite so heavily. So, yeah, I just think we should bear that in mind. Also, people are pointing out it's very hypocritical of you to like Rain, but not the Rain.
You know what? People will say a lot. People will say a lot of things about me, and I love it all.
SIG MCX Rattler Sidecar, when they're back in stock, we'll consider it. A lot of people asking about H&K stuff. So the H&K Sidecar that's coming is the VP9. Plans for the other platforms, not necessarily anytime soon. It is interesting trying to figure out which lights or guns are popular and which light and gun aficionados are loudest. That is actually two completely separate questions.
Like
not the same one that you
ACR
might think.
fanboys, 1911 fanboys. They're very loud. There's not a lot of them. Yeah. Very loud. Very loud.
What are some of the other questions that we've gotten? We've gotten some fairly consistent questions across the board. The Glock 45 and 10 millimeter models are coming. Again, they're not on the calendar. When those come, that is when we will also support the 40 cal Gen 5s at the same time. So there's going to be, and that's also when we're going to support the M&P 45s at the same time, because they can share a couple of design components and tooling that we have to spin up. So yeah, now there's a ton of upgrades happening in the back still. They're minor. They're things that we needed for future products that are getting added. And one thing that we've not talked about, colors. We have not talked about some of the
new colors.
The new colors. We consolidated some of the colors, so now our green is Ranger green. It's a proper Ranger green.
It's not OD or Army green.
It's not
Kydex, which is horrible.
And then our brown is Wolverine,
which matches better with everything.
Yeah. So this is a way that
which can't use from other companies. It's just us.
We had a bunch of things on our wish list, and we basically had to wait until a massive change till we could do them all. This is one of the really small ones, consolidating some of our colors. People are asking, are the colors accurate on the website? That kind of depends on your monitor.
And your phone,
as near as we could get them, yes. But one of the ways that you can figure out if you want a color is if you own a Wolverine Ragnarok, you can look at that. That's the color of Wolverine that you're going to get on your IDB holster.
I wonder what color is being ordered. It'd be cool. People are asking, Navy Man collab. Well, I've invited him to come and hang out with us, and I haven't heard from him. So
it's crickets.
Balls in his court. But I invited him to come hang out and get to know us on Instagram and on his YouTube video before he deleted it. Or unlisted it or whatever. It's gone.
We'll see.
So I don't know.
Other color questions. People are asking, why can you not get the back and the front different colors? It's because the whole thing is a single piece of Kydex, which is one of the coolest things and most useful things about the product. It does mean it's all one piece of color because it's all one piece of Kydex. That's how that goes. Be careful with these things.
With what, like knives or sidecars?
These knives in particular are terrifyingly sharp, which I love about them, but...
The Streamlight TLX is brighter than the X300. Yes, the Streamlight is very fast to push lumens, faster than Surefire. I'm sure it is brighter. They've been very quick to update models. The other problem with that is they're so fast at updating, the TLR1HL, TLR1, TLR1S, TLR1L, HLX, whatever. Dealers will be stuck, and this kind of sucks. Dealers will be stuck with an old model, and they've already went and made the next one better. And if you do that too much, you kind of upset some dealers. I don't really mind too much. We just have to get rid of our old stock whenever that happens, and you know, just clearance it or whatever. But that is kind of unfortunate when you are trying to, you know, updating your product so often that it actually affects your dealers. At which point I would just say, don't do dealers, only sell it yourself, create a shipping fulfillment center, and just constantly update the product internally and do it that way, which is kind of what we do. We don't have dealers. We have, well, 2, but they're more the tactical kit in the UK who kind of handles Europe.
More of an importer.
Yeah, he's more like an importer, and then Royal Range, they're sort of a local partner, so we don't really have
friends.
Dealers. Friends, yeah, we don't really have dealers, and that just makes it a lot easier, updating products, not having to, you know, coordinate with them, make sure all their stock's gone before we release the new one. I've been stuck with old product many times by companies. It's not fun, but you know, it's part of the game if you're selling for a company that is striving to make their products better, which I like. I think that's very important. There's just better ways of doing it.
People asking about this knife right here. This knife is the Flagrant Beard Havoc. Speaking of friends,
yes.
Flagrant Beard is a neighbor and a good friend. We are not stocking this knife currently. We should possibly talk about that because it does pair very nicely with the holsters. But you can go to Flagrant Beard and you can buy it, and it's awesome. Just be warned, it's terrifyingly sharp. I don't know what the general consensus is on ring knives. They are very useful in some circumstances. I have all 10 of my fingers still, which I am, you know, reasonably proud of.
I'm glad you do too.
Something that I would like to have, something that I would like to have because I'd like to keep all 10 of my fingers. I love the retention of the ring knife, but I feel like this right here is stronger than the bones in here, and I know because I've broken some of the bones in here before on various things. So I would love to see a full tang knife where the scales are plastic and the ring is strong enough that you can hang on to the knife, but not strong enough that it's going to deglove something, because degloving injuries are the worst sounding injuries ever. Yeah. Would you like to hear the tale of Nine-Fingered Frodo and
I'm doing a demonstration for everyone.
Okay.
Someone just asked, handcuff carrier on its own. Handcuff carrier single clip right here at 4 o'clock actually is very nice. The handcuffs are still accessible. Boom. Insert the cuffs back. I don't know why you would need to do this fast, but you can. Then gun. So for those of you undercover narcs, ATF agents, IRS agents, we got you. Just don't shoot my dog, please. So yeah, handcuffs right here, gun, set. I will say, as far as handcuffs go, I did have a conversation with an old buddy of mine who's now out of group, and he told me that they stopped using flex cuffs because they went to handcuff carriers. Handcuffs. The flex cuffs were breaking too much, and so they went to cuffing folks with metal, not plastic. So it's not just for cops, not just for cops. So someone else leaked the belt. Oh, shoot. Joel Park was in here. He asked me, hey, what belt do you guys have? Or what belt do you recommend for EDC? We have the Nova belt here at T.REX Arms. I've been wearing a new belt that goes with our two-piece belt. It's the inner belt, and I've been wearing this one now for, 8 months.
Kyle, I have no part in this. Okay?
And
I just
look,
let the record show I'm not in
I
any way participating.
I have gone a year and a half. I was a good boy. A year and a half of not leaking the mod car. I did my job. I'm going to have my leaks. I'm going to have them.
Leeks and onions.
So I've been wearing this belt. It's totally rad, but it's not out yet. Sorry. But yeah, I have my handcuffs over here because, you know, why not? I know now people are going to say, stolen valor, you're not a cop. You're right. I don't work for the state or the federal government.
Civilians should have, I'm going to make the argument that law enforcement needs to carry restraining devices so that they can arrest civil magistrates that are breaking the law and the Constitution. And
absolutely.
Civilians need to have restraining devices so that they can arrest lesser magistrates that fail to hold higher magistrates to that account.
Yeah, this is something normal folks can and should have. I know there's probably, someone was saying the handcuff carrier was exploding Reddit. I'm sure there's a lot of gatekeepers out there saying, how dare a civilian company like T.REX Arms make a product like this?
Well, there's also
but
a lot
those are Dakota Meyer types. That's just how it is.
I don't know if they were. They might have been just people saying, like, how dare we support magistrates,
law enforcement. I can understand them saying
that. Yeah, when you were talking about IRS agents, I felt like perhaps we made a terrible, terrible mistake.
Oh, no.
ATF agents don't usually handcuff people.
They just shoot the dog.
Well, it's the people that they apprehend often don't survive.
And I will.
Handcuffs.
I have told people many times, and I will continue to tell them, I refuse to train the ATF. If they ever ask me to come and train them, I would say no. It's not going to happen, ever. I have no intent to do any of that.
Somebody who works here is suggesting that I use the handcuffs on you right now because of all the excessive leaking. So.
Except that doesn't take into account me speaking. You need duct tape
true.
for that. So we need a duct tape carrier is what we need. So the answer is wearing these as standalone devices, absolutely. It does work. I will say, though, one clip.
The tourniquet holder works
well.
quite well. That works really well because the center of gravity is low. Mag carrier works, the rifle mag carrier works okay, but once you go to 30, its center of gravity is very high and it wants to do this.
Yep.
Pistol mag, not bad. If you are going to do that, you can move the clip up a bit, and then it'll work a little better.
It's always funny to me. I will say there are a few instructors out there who, granted, their demographics is very different, who like to brag about training the ATF, and
that's no brag.
You'll never see that from our company. But I find it amusing, and then of course people complain. It's a good time.
What model are the handcuffs? Those are Smith & Wesson pattern cuffs. It works with both the chains and the hinged varieties, and anything that is like this.
Those are the Safari Lands? Those are
No,
old.
the Safari Lands.
They may not fit? Those are Smith & Wesson hinged. Okay.
We need to be developing. There's so many different types of handcuffs out there. This is a tremendously adjustable cuff carrier. This is actually one of the technological developments I am proudest of. Another Joe Quarter special. We don't talk about it a whole lot, but this little hinge right here is a thing of beauty, and it allows for a lot of adjustability. This little hinge right here with the edges cut out, tremendously springy, lets you run a whole bunch of stuff. There's a magnet in the bottom that stops the chain from rattling if you use the chain ones. The Smith & Wesson pattern cuffs work, and we need to have on the website a list of compatible cuffs. But the gigantic asp ones don't work. People are asking about other ones that also don't work, but the most common ones do. Hyatt, Smith & Wesson, some of the others, anything in that pattern works
Can we see
just fine.
Can we see it canted for 4 o'clock? You mean the holster? Well, here's the fun part. You get to set the cant however you want this thing. You can move the clip up and down. You can turn it on the wing. You can kind of move this one around a little bit as well. You get to set the cant. You can get some crazy cant going on in this holster now. At some point, it's like I don't know how New York you are, or FBI I guess is what it's called. New York can't, FBI can't. I don't know how FBI you are, how federally agent you feel. But at some point you don't, like, I've seen holsters like this, and like, I'm sorry, I don't know, like, I don't understand it. So at some point you don't want to cant it too far. This gives you enough where you can get, a good amount, still have full access to the grip, but you're not going full FBI. So
it's a lot of different things you can do. Yeah.
Oh boy. Let's see. Let me see. Duct tape. We had some discussion today about some different attachments too, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, one of the fun things about this, and somebody asked about this earlier, one of the fun things about making this open source is seeing what other people develop to work with this. There's already some very fun things. Now, somebody did ask, could we store on the T.REX server all of the 3D files that anybody invents or comes up with for this particular system? And I have mixed feelings about this. On the one hand, I would love to do that. On the other hand, I kind of don't want to store and distribute stuff that we haven't fully tested.
Yeah.
So we'll keep talking about that. For now, I would say put stuff up on Thingiverse, GrabCAD, various other places like that, and just put Sidecar in the title or the hashtag so people can find them. And I am looking forward to printing out some of the designs that people are coming up with.
I'm looking forward to playing some of them.
My recommendation, PLA Plus, is the stuff that we've been using on our filament printer, and then some of the clear extra strength resins for the resin printers are. Which is
better?
Well.
That feels better.
This is much higher detail, so it allowed us to test.
Can't even see it. Yeah, have it over something dark.
This allows us to test a lot of the really specific details before we got our injection molds made. So like the little tiny dimples that catch the head of the screw so that it doesn't rattle around. Oh, this is a great second camera. Thank you, Charles.
I was trying to give you some contrast.
There's tons more detail here. I think it might be just a hair stronger. This is the filament printer is faster to print and prints a much larger area. So we have used our filament printer to print some very large prototypes of things that I'm not going to say what they are because I don't leak products, I myself personally. But the resin printer has phenomenal detail, and you can make relatively rigid stuff. This one has broken off. But I think that was on purpose. I think that was a destructive test. So, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, this has been a lovely hour and a half discussing this product. We do have overview videos on every attachment and on the product page itself, going into
yesterday's
detail.
live stream and the product video the day before. So it's been actually a pretty content-heavy week.
Yeah, we're posting a lot on Instagram right now, too. Like 3 or 4 posts a day on both my account and T.REX. With all that said, guys, I am now going to be transitioning right after this to Twitch, where I can show guns, handle guns. I want to show a new plate carrier that I just got, which is pretty rad, and talk about some of that
I'm surprised
on Twitch.
Surprised that Amazon is cooler with that than Google is.
It's pretty amusing.
As long as they allow it. Let's do it.
So I'm going to be streaming in here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/aimbotkin. You do not have to subscribe to watch. You do not have to pay me money to be there. It will probably be a subscriber-only chat, though, just to keep bots and spam and stuff like that dealt with. Maybe we'll leave it open for a little bit, but you guys can come over there. We can go over some guns and actually talk about some other T.REX-y related stuff. Maybe also look at some holsters. I also do dry fire. A bunch of extra crap that we just do that we can't do here on YouTube thanks to their crazy rules, but we can do on Twitch, which is, again, strange.
Surprising, but
it is what it is.
Surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. Also, I was going to say, this Monday, I'd like to bring the podcast back. I've missed the last couple of Mondays of podcasting.
Been a little busy.
One of the things that's kind of interesting is the Gun Owners of America just got the ATF2 release on a Freedom of Information Act request, a huge pile of their standard operating procedures and internal training documents. So maybe that's the topic. Maybe we'll talk about some of the things that are revealed in that on the Monday podcast. If there isn't enough information or analysis or time, then we'll cover something else. But check out the podcast, T.REX Talk on Monday. Check out the Twitch stream now. Check out another live stream on Wednesday. Check out the Sidecar Holster on our thing.
Stuff. Just everywhere.
Like, subscribe, smash the bell, all the things.
Give us your money.
Newsletter.
Oh, the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. Oh, especially.
The newsletter is the most.
Plate carriers.
The newsletter is the most important thing because, well, we control the podcast too. The newsletter and the podcast are the only things that we control. They're the only platforms that we're not going to get kicked off of. So, newsletter is the easiest thing to subscribe to. Podcast, you got to figure out how to search it and get it on your phone and stuff like that. But yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks for
watching.
watching.
I'll see you all in 5 minutes.
Be safe. Hope you learned something.